Hi, my name is Yuantu Chen, and you can call me Jason. And this is my VR speech and debate virtual simulator. Its full title is Developing a Virtual Reality System Integrated with Large Language Models for Real-Time Evaluation and Feedback to Improve Public Speaking Skills. Um, So, a little bit about me. I'm 16 years old and I attend the Bush School in Seattle, Washington, in the United States. I myself am very passionate with Model UN or Model United Nations. I do a little bit of fish keeping with a lot of plants. Um, I'm in the Pacific Northwest. There's Mount Rainier and Space Needle here. And I myself also enjoy shooting. So, intro. Why does public speaking matter and what is our solution? So I'm personally involved with Model United Nations and other leadership roles from student government to community meeting and all sorts of organizations that involve a lot of public speaking. And in the real world, it's not always the easiest thing to speak in front of large crowds. In fact, over 75% of the world population suffers from claustrophobia or fear of public speaking. And it can have some real life impacts from lower wages to being passed off more for promotion. And my solution to this would be to create a software system that assists users in practicing public speaking skills. Um, it would implement VR technology and utilize large AI language models to provide real-time feedback to help hone in these skills. Um, we would be utilizing Unity software to create those inclusive and immersive spaces to recreate that sense of pressure for users, like that of public speaking environments, and then large AI models to help deal with that large amount of data, like the speeches that people would give and analyze it. Um, Here is a flow chart for what the process might look like. We have a start interface. It would begin recording. Once it stops, recording also halts. It would get converted to a WAV file. It then is saved to the computer, uploaded to ChatGPT Whisper for speech-to-text conversion. And finally, it would be uploaded to ChatGPT for analyzation, and finally displayed on the podium, which is the console that the user can see. I will do a quick live demo for what the process will look like. So I'm going to exit out of this exit out of this window and share another screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah, we can see a screen.
That's good. Um, so I'm going to start the program. The WASD ASD keys control the user's movement, and in front of us we have the podium and the start button. Once I'm ready, I will click the start button to record myself, and once I'm done, I will click the stop button and it will start to analyze the results. I could read off of a script just to see what it will be like. 1 second. Okay, ready, set, go. Vanuatu has addressed the misuse of pharmaceutical drugs by regulating prescription medications and sees the distribution and sale of pharmaceuticals, has put down measures to control the access to drugs with high potential for abuse. Once I'm done with the speaking, I will press done, and it will to for text to speech for in it gives an overall grade assessment in the it. And once we're done with the program, we can just exit out and or pause it. So that's a very quick demo of what the project will look like. Let's go back to the slides. So now we're going to discuss our my findings and conclusions. Here is a basic testing methodology example. I did a few columns, and here we have the input, which would be the speech that the user would give. Honorable Chair, fellow delegates, a very special thing has happened today, blah, blah, blah. Um, we have an expected output section where ChatGPT would provide an overall grade, a grade with each criteria included, and it's in the format that we want. So the brevity, clarity, and strength, as well as future improvement. And finally, that ChatGPT is able to provide these letter grades from brevity, clarity, strength, and overall grade. Um, Finally, and then in the actual output section, we would put down what we got when we entered the input, which is actually the real result. Here are our findings. With a testing sample of 80 inputs, we got 80 outputs, and over 50% of them were successful. And here you can see 48 of them were fully successful. 32 here were within an acceptable range of error of one letter grade. And in terms of accuracy, it's up to 90%. Calculated with GPA or grade point average. The expected GPA was roughly 2.91. The actual GPA that ChatGPT provided was 2.6225. So the margin of error is quite low. And the formatting that were given were also in the layout that we wanted. So that was very helpful. So for my conclusions and areas of improvement, overall, the project and the program that we had uh, was able to deliver its work like we wanted. It provided adequate feedback for improvement, as well as how well the user did in giving a preliminary speech in a setting for Model UN. There are definitely improvements to be made, like more realistic models for the environment. And there's a reason why it's not the most fleshed out, primarily because it's quite expensive to get really good data packs. For instance, this variety pack here costs over basically in the hundreds. It's very expensive, and in the future we will need to perhaps purchase more expensive models. Um, Better prompt engineering. So throughout the process for coding and software integration, ChatGPT needs to be prompted with specific instructions to give results, or else there's going to be differences in the response, and we call that temperature. And there is also definitely room for more environments, more settings. So instead of just Model UN, we can go into other areas of speech and debate, different settings for educators, for instance. And potentially in the future, it can also be helpful to improve general language speaking abilities. So perhaps you're not used to speaking English and you want to hone in your speaking skills. And we could even go further from there for different languages. The potential here is quite high. Um, and because it is a VR speech and debate simulator-ish, the VR aspect really is there to help create the immersive experience. So it's important to make it look as realistic as possible as it can be. And also there's more room definitely for more user interfaces. So we saw there were I had a start and stop button. There's probably definitely more that we could introduce. From there. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. I know it's quite short, but hope you liked it. I'm gonna stop sharing now.
Thank you, Mr. Jason Chen. It was a nice presentation, and thank you.
Okay. If you have
Yeah,
any questions, you can ask them now or anything.
I
Yeah.
think